Welcome to the Wrestle for Real podcast. DJ Rav V with you tonight. I will be here solo dolo this time around. We will have the guys back next week, but I'm gonna be holding it down, recapping Monday Night Raw for everybody who did not get a chance to check it out or who did. Feel free to jump in the comments, man. Let me know what you thought about tonight's show. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Please continue to listen. We appreciate the support. Spotify, iHeart, wherever you get your podcast, YouTube. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tell a friend to tell a friend about us. This is what we do. Um, each and every Monday night, the Monday night post show. This time will be from September 1st. Coming on the heels of Clash of Paris, and they are still, I believe, in Paris. So we had an early start time, which threw some things off for our normally scheduled program. So everything is got pushed back a little bit there, but based on their 2 p.m. start time Eastern, we're just getting started a little later, a little later this week. Last week we did as well, but we'll be back to our regularly scheduled program starting next. Let's see what we got going on the heels of Clash of Paris. So the crowd tonight was very, very hot. We had a hot crowd tonight. Everybody was really, really into it, singing along all night, chants all night. It almost didn't matter who was out there, even what was being said. It was just a lot going on. It did peak, I would say, during AJ Styles. There was quite the ovation he had out there during that particular period in time. And I don't know if that was all for AJ or if it was just part of the night they were having or how everyone felt with this particular European tour, I believe, coming to an end at this time. So, but the crowd was hot all night. One thing we're definitely starting to see more of is these crowds overseas being extremely excited for wrestling, extremely excited to see what's going to happen on the card. Just being able to enjoy the product, not being too critical of it, but just enjoying it, going along for the ride. And that's really what you want to see as a fan. That's what you go out there and you spend your money on to see it live and be able to go have a good time, and that's what they do. And that's what they continue to have been doing every time we see these PLEs and when they visiting these other places, be it Raw or SmackDown, we're seeing a whole nother energy coming from this crowd, these crowds that they have. So I don't expect that to change anytime soon. So far, so good with the crowds. I think that's going to always make for a better show, a better event. At least watching it on TV, I can only imagine what it's like to be there live when you have that kind of energy in the building. It's definitely a great feeling and enhances the night, man. So that's really what it's all about at the end of the day. Regardless of what you see, is just having that good time when you get out there. You spend a lot of money to go and take your family, your friends, whoever, to go out there and enjoy the product. So those people, those guys and girls out there doing that. So we started off the night with Jay Uso and LA Knight. Jay Uso coming out first, LA Knight following behind, and then with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker basically getting set up for the main event tonight, which was going to be a tag match, Jay Uso and LA Knight versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. I like what I saw from Jay Uso. He's still cutting some good promos. Same thing with LA Knight. LA Knight staying right there in the hunt, main event, opening the show, closing the show. Definitely like to see it. That sometimes you just got to hover around that spot in order to one day get that spot. So you don't just appear there overnight. So he's definitely staying in position. With Jey Uso by his side, at least for the moment, for the night, against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Those two guys, part of division, in which we seen Paul Heyman go down last night. So his absence was definitely noticed and expected on tonight. No Seth Rollins as of this particular point in time to open the show, but these guys basically just traded some insults for a little while to get ready for what was going to be coming up and the main event. So this has been pretty much our main events for last few weeks. We've had something with Division, and whether it included CM Punk or Jey Uso, LA Knight, Roman Reigns, this is pretty much what we've come to expect with Monday Night Raw. Nothing wrong with it. You want your stars closing the show, finishing the show, and being a major part of the show. So that's exactly what's been going on. So I don't have a problem with it, but that's what we were setting up. That's what they were setting up here with Monday Night Raw's open. And then they went to, we had another segment with Kairi Sane, Asuka, and Io Sky, basically been teasing a breakup, teasing some tension amongst them, with Io Sky being the one looking like she's on the outside looking in. So Not sure what's going to happen there, but they're doing something with these three. And it's looking more like the Kabuki Warriors, which is Kairi Sane and Asuka, will continue on as a tag team, and still remaining friends. And Io Sky might be on the outside with her connection to Rhea Ripley and her getting some outside help or counsel from everyone else. They don't seem to be taking too kind to that. So we'll have to see where that goes, but they're definitely keeping them on TV, keeping them active, and sometimes that's all you can ask for. When you're trying to get a spot on the card, they've definitely been doing that. So we'll see if this actually produces some real fruit once it does finally happen. We'll see if this will actually turn into something meaningful and something that is going to make sense and have a nice payoff. But this led to the Kabuki Warriors basically saying they were going to take care of the Judgment Day, which their match was coming up next. The Kabuki Warriors versus Roxanne and Raquel. This match was just kind of there, nothing too exciting. Basically, the Kabuki Warriors has been going at it with Judgment Day. All of them has really been going at it with Judgment Day for quite some time, or the ladies of Judgment Day. In this case, Roxanne Perez and Raquel. I think I would like for them to get Roxanne out of this somehow. I think that everyone else is going to kind of fall by the wayside. They want to really push Io Sky, but the way it's kind of looking, Io Sky may not have much interaction moving forward with them as she gets ready to kind of go at it with the Kabuki Warriors. For some reason, that may be her next path. Whether she wins the Raw Women's title or not, that may be looking like where she's headed. That's going to leave Roxanne and Raquel to do whatever from there. We expect Liv Morgan back at some point, and that might open the door for Liv and Roxanne, and I'm okay with that. But let's try to get Roxanne out of there. I think she was the only one in that ring tonight that I was interested to really see. I think Raquel is kind of holding on by a thread right now. I'm not sure what's going to happen once Judgment Day kind of implodes, or at least the women's side of it implodes, and which direction they go in. I'm not sure if that's going to be very beneficial to Raquel. But it's not looking like it's going to be very beneficial to Raquel. But I would like to see Roxanne come out of this and definitely be able to get on to bigger and better things. Maybe that women's United States Championship or that Intercontinental Championship that's on Monday Night Raw. Just something that gets a title on her, a singles title, and gets her a push. Get her there with Lyra Valkyria, someone like that, where they're just kind of singles stars and they're on their own and they're not relying on anything or anyone. But Roxanne may have some future affiliation with a Finn Balor, perhaps maybe even a Dominic Mysterio. But she definitely wants to get away from Raquel and what Judgment Day is doing with the Kabuki Warriors and Io Sky, which may be coming to an end pretty soon here. So hopefully. We did get an announcement that I believe it's at WrestlePalooza, ESPN's first PLE, which is September 20th. We did get an announcement that the Raw Women's Championship will be on the line when Io Sky goes against Stephanie Vaquer, who was supposed to get a shot in Clash of Paris. And Io Sky was supposed to get a shot, I want to say, the Monday night leading up to Clash of Paris or 2 weeks before it. Before Naomi took some time away, and then ultimately the pregnancy announcement. So I think it was 2 weeks before Clash of Paris that Io was supposed to get a shot. So these were the last two ladies supposed to get a shot at Naomi's title at that particular time. So they're going to go at it. I'm expecting this to be a solid match. I don't know how a new audience may look at this one with ESPN bringing in some new eyes and some new attention. I don't know if that's going to be something that moves the needle, seeing Io and Stephanie Vaquer going at it for this championship. But we are crowning a new championship, so that's always a good thing. No one is coming in as the champion, so that definitely has some intrigue to it as well. So it should be pretty good. I think it's going to be a good match. Personally, I like to see Booker T come out there and call that match just in case we get a moment from Stephanie Vaquer just to help the night out a little bit, at least during that match, where I think casual viewers and viewers that haven't been following might need a little something extra during this match just to kind of help it along. Overall, they'll put on a good match. They just, I don't know that they have the mainstream appeal, definitely to catch the eyes of those casual viewers or people that's tuning in and may not necessarily be familiar with these ladies who are very popular within the industry but just not on a mainstream level. So we'll see how that goes, but otherwise it'll be a good match. I really don't know who's likely to walk away with this one. I think I almost feel like Stephanie might walk away because of the push that I've seen them give her. And there's a program already set up for Io and the Kabuki Warriors, so I'm not really sure. They could go either way with this. Might be looking at an Io Sky just because of what they've been able to do with her over the last month or so. Her already being a champion, being established at least within the company for quite some time now. It really could go either way. And there's not many matches that we have that's going on that could really go either way as of late that we get. Sometimes you just kind of have a clear cut favorite, but Stephanie has really been inactive for quite some time. So the best way to really help her remain relevant would be to get a win. It'd be really tough to be inactive for all this time and then come in and take a loss, and now you're back to I don't even know where, maybe being inactive again. So she needs it, whereas Io Sky already has some stuff set up with the Kabuki Warriors, possibly Rhea Ripley involved there. If she wins, we've kind of just seen this song and dance, so it doesn't really add much to the championship, but it's someone the company definitely would feel like they could trust. So it's going to be interesting to see. This match may have some antics from the Kabuki Warriors. It may involve some stuff, which could be helpful if they cost her the championship, and that sets off their feud in motion, and then Stephanie can go wherever she goes after that, whatever direction that leads her in. We may be able to see something like that. But otherwise, we're going to get what we get with that match. A great match, but very hard to predict who may come out winning. And that's a tough one. I do. I will go with Stephanie, but cautiously, reluctantly, I will go with Stephanie just because I think it's going to hurt her a lot to go from being as inactive as she's been all the way to losing for that particular championship on ESPN. I just don't think it does her character any favors, and she probably needs a little help right now. But after this matchup, we have Finn Balor versus Dragon Lee. So the guys in Judgment Day has been mostly dealing with AAA. It feels like having some sort of AAA type of ties to it, or at least that style. Finn Balor's been over there, AAA. Dragon Lee's been over there. These guys are still going at it. Dominic has been rubbing shoulders with El Grande, and both of those guys have been very over in AAA. JD obviously been over there battling it out of AAA as well. So it seemed like they're really married to the idea of AAA, and Judgment Day kind of being the face of the WWE that's going to be regularly going over there. So this was a good match, though. Definitely some interference on JD's part that led to Finn Balor getting a victory. Judgment Day is going to be featured no matter what. We already know that. It's a matter of who they're going to be featured with and if they're going to lose, win, or how it's going to be booked. But it's definitely helps them when they do take them and they go over there to AAA to give them that extra rub, to give them that extra push, to give them some more eyes. I definitely think that helps AAA as a whole. So you got to keep Judgment Day on TV, keep them very relevant. They are the tag team champs as of right now. So Dragon Lee is who's benefiting, quite the most in this particular situation. He's not probably going to see many victories or anything like that, but he can look good in the process of losing and possibly get some help from the AAA side at some point. He's not going to be able to deal with them all by himself. So it looks like they're going to still continue down that road. I don't see this ending anytime soon. I see this kind of still becoming more and more of a thing with possibly more AAA involvement with the Judgment Day, or at least Finn Balor and JD McDonough, possibly Dominic Mysterio. I think he has to be a part of it. Just wasn't a part of this particular match. Next up, we had a tag team or a triple threat. I mean, not a triple threat, not a tag team match, a trios tag match, I guess we can say. But we had New Day and Grayson Waller, who does not fit into New Day very well, and New Day probably needs a break from the TV, but they're definitely getting their TV time, and with some injuries to some notable people. We could probably expect this for the foreseeable future as far as them getting their segment. We did get War Raiders back, who I haven't seen in a while, so it's been good. They're always a tag team that's enjoyable to watch and always going to produce, and they're never going to let you down. So I feel like they should be the tag team champions, as someone that's prominently featured week in and week out, especially from the tag team division, since there's so few teams that really are meaningful. They teamed up with Penta, someone else who's definitely been raising his stock since he's got to the WWE and fan favorite. So that team definitely looked good. These guys put on a good match. Wouldn't expect anything different. It ended with Penta picking up the victory over Xavier Woods. Like I said, I'm not sure what they're going to do with New Day, but right now they're just a good hand to have on TV, kind of keep these guys active and giving the War Raiders of the world and the Pentas of the world something to do, a way to stay active. I don't know where they're going with the Grayson Waller thing. It took a while before they broke up Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, only to put him with a tag team that's already established. So I'm not really sure what the plan is there. Trying to go along for the ride, but it's just like, not really sure what that ride looks like or if there's a decent payoff for it. I kind of doubt it. I'm not really sure if there's anything there. I think we would have got a better maybe 2-3 matches out of Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. If Austin Theory is back anytime soon, then I'm hoping maybe we can still revisit that and get that for the fans to just kind of see those guys, really break up and have some kind of feud. But as of right now, the New Day has got him tucked away and he's getting TV time more than he was with Austin Theory and getting involved in some matches. They did take the loss tonight, but sometimes you just need TV time to get people talking and to make sure you don't get lost in the shuffle, and that's what they got. So we should expect some level of this to continue with these six guys that was in there tonight. I would expect this to continue to some degree. Maybe some one-on-one matches will spawn from this, or some tag matches or something like that. It probably won't go too far, but it will keep everybody that was involved pretty busy until we get the War Raiders against Finn Balor and JD McDonough, where they need to go ahead on and lose them titles. I mean, it's just time to go ahead on and lose those titles. So that's just my opinion, but we'll see. So we had AJ Styles and Dominic up next. And this match was for the Intercontinental Championship, which is currently held by Dominic Mysterio. So we did have a championship match on the card tonight. Like I said earlier, AJ got, quite the ovation when he came out. I wasn't sure if it was ever going to end. This crowd was really, really, really hyped, really on fire. Maybe due to AJ, maybe due to just being excited about pro wrestling. But this was a good match. Definitely should expect interference with Dominic Mysterio matches, and that came in the form of El Grande Americano, who seemed to be firmly on his side, at least as of right now. Got the cheap shot in on AJ Styles, which led to Dominic picking up the victory on the frog splash. So I think it's going to be interesting when Dominic's character changes. If it does anytime soon, not really sure. I think the fans are very ready for it, but I'm not sure where they're going to go with it. They have to put to bed AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio, which may have happened tonight, and he may pivot to El Grande Americano at this particular point in time. So that would definitely be a good look, because El Grande definitely needs some matches before we get to what we hope may be the old El Grande Americano versus the new El Grande Americano. So we're hoping that might be what we can get to at some point. But until then, El Grande needs to stay busy. Styles needs to stay busy. So I think that these guys might pivot away from Dominic and AJ and get with AJ and El Grande Americano on this particular one. So it should be something interesting. If nothing else, we know we're going to get a good match. We know we're going to get good matches out of it. Maybe AJ gets a tag partner and we get a tag team match out of it, something to that degree. But we're going to get good matches out of it. I think Dominic Mysterio, we're waiting for the babyface turn, but I think it's still a long ways away from where he's going to turn into a babyface or pivot or even break away from Judgment Day and just be his still in that heel character mode, but just without the Judgment Day. So I think they've been teasing a while now a few scenarios where these guys might not be together, but it may take a long time. It may take a while. But in the meantime, we're probably going to see a lot of AAA crossover. We're going to see a lot of AJ Styles and El Grande Americano staying very involved with the Judgment Day at this particular juncture. But it's probably time to pivot for AJ. It's time to pivot for Dominic. I like to see what new they can get into. See if we can give someone else a shot, give someone else a chance to get some TV time to be in the ring. Maybe even take the title off of them. I'm not sure if we need that right now, but hasn't been much of a title reign that we care about. I think Dominic's most exciting stuff probably has come from making appearances in AAA. So I'm not really sure that we've gotten excited about his title defenses or who he's going to fight or anything like that. It's not really looking like something that's important as far as that title is and him having it. I don't know if it's elevated him. I think that it did when he initially won it, but at this point, I think we're kind of leveled out and it just feels kind of blah, So he's going to either need to go to AAA or he's going to have to start having some much more interesting feuds at this particular point in time, or turn babyface. Something needs to happen here in order to get Dominic Mysterio back going and possibly take him to the next level at this point. So losing the title doesn't necessarily mean you're going down on the card. It could mean it's just time to elevate him to that next level. So it would be difficult for him to get to that level where Seth Rollins is, and the main event. Those guys are hanging around there, in addition to a Gunther who's going to come back at some point. It'd be difficult, but they're going to have to do something with Dominic Mysterio at this point in order for him to get to the next level and kind of away from these feuds. But his future may very well be a feud with Finn Balor, a feud with JD McDonough. That could be something that's definitely in the cards and on the horizon, as opposed to anything else beyond that. So we'll see. But AJ Styles is probably going to pivot to El Grande Americano, and then we'll kind of see where that goes from there. And once Chad Gable gets back and some other guys, things will get a little interesting in terms of seeing if this kind of stays the same, because we really don't have much switch ups on Raw. We kind of have the players that we have, and they've kind of been going at it, and everybody's kind of been getting some TV time. So I think that's just a product of injuries versus what the original plan may have been to get these people on TV and get them in some matches. So we're going to see. But injuries are affecting the programming right now. So most of the show, we had CM Punk hanging around backstage waiting for Seth Rollins to confront him based on what we've seen at the Clash of Paris PLE, which was Becky Lynch interfering at the end of the Fatal 4-Way match for the World Heavyweight Championship, low blowing CM Punk, which opened the door to Seth Rollins picking up the victory and retaining. I don't know that many people expected Becky Lynch to get a part of it. There was some speculation on an additional member of the division, but that is not what happened. Possibly not what happened, unless she was already considered a member with her marriage to Seth Rollins. But Becky Lynch came in and interfered, and because of that, the person tasked with dealing with Seth Rollins tonight was going to be CM Punk. So he waited, eventually came out to the ring, and basically all he really wanted to do was call out Seth Rollins, get him out there, and that led to Becky Lynch coming out. And they had a pretty fiery promo. They pretty much went back and forth. Very interesting stuff when CM Punk is on the microphone. Becky is no slouch. She's definitely good on the microphone as well. So it was interesting seeing these two go back and forth before Seth Rollins ultimately came out for a very short amount of time, not even a cup of coffee, just to let him know he was there and challenging CM Punk, who did not make it out the ring to go and attack him as Becky Lynch stood in the way, eventually leading to her actually smacking him around and putting her hands on CM Punk. So this was rather interesting. We haven't seen too much male and female physicality. I think we've seen a little bit of that. Most recently may have been Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley, if I'm not mistaken. But we haven't seen too much of that. So it was a very interesting thing. This led to CM Punk getting very upset, as he's very, aware he's not the type that's going to put his hands on a woman. So she took advantage of that, and he left out of there pretty steaming. I think this has sparked a lot of chatter about AJ Lee coming back, former women's champion, CM Punk's wife, and someone we haven't seen in the company, I believe, for over 10 years now. It may have been longer than 10 years at this point. Or somewhere around that, but we haven't seen her in a while. The fans would love for her to come back. ESPN would love for her to come back on their first PLE, WrestlePalooza. They would also welcome that. And I think that what they would do after is kind of something I naturally think about, but I think that even if it was just a moment, it would be very huge, because Seth Rollins is the man right now. Becky Lynch is probably the most featured and, dare I say, interesting woman right now, being that she does have a title around her waist. One could argue Rhea Ripley, based on the response that she gets without having a title. I'll give Becky Lynch the edge in that department. But either way, that's a big moment. If you're AJ Lee and you want to come back, and you want to do something meaningful, you want to do something impactful, you want it to count, this is definitely a big way to do that. I don't think that she should sit at home and take too kind to her man being slapped around by a woman. CM Punk did have a backstage segment prior to coming out with Rhea Ripley. I don't know if that's a security blanket in the event that the AJ Lee doesn't pan out, but I think that's what everyone is expecting right now. And people are excited at the thought of her possibly returning to the WWE, especially tag teaming with CM Punk and going against Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins in whatever way we may get that. So if that is something we could expect to get at the ESPN WrestlePalooza pay-per-view, PLE, that would be massive. That would be huge. And that would be just the kind of thing ESPN should want in order to get that ball rolling on the right track. I do believe we may be done with PLEs on the Peacock network. So it's been a great run, but I'm not sure that I'm going to continue my Peacock subscription at this particular time. I mean, if we got to allocate this money to ESPN, then we got to move it to ESPN. It is what it is. But they had a good run on Peacock with the PLEs. So we should expect nothing less on ESPN. It should only get bigger. It should only get better as they continue to expand their reach and reach a more broader audience and a more sports-based audience. There is no bigger sports-based audience than ESPN. So I expect them to possibly bring in a lot more ESPN influences. And we may see that happen with some of the personalities and the analysts and the pundits that's over there on ESPN. So should be pretty exciting. Should be an exciting time. But we're going to see pretty soon here if we're going to get an AJ Lee appearance. I'm not really sure how that would play out. Personally, I don't think you need to see her until WrestlePalooza if that's where you're going with it. But we do have SmackDown in Chicago, CM Punk's hometown, where he's at with his wife, his family. So there could be a reason for her to come out there, but I don't think there is. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch is not on SmackDown, and I don't believe they've been announced to make an appearance on SmackDown, nor should they. WrestlePalooza is about 2 weeks away, so I think we can wait until that moment and just have that anticipation, even if we know what's happening, to just have a big moment like that. But not necessarily would be surprised if she comes out on SmackDown, if that's the direction they do end up being able to go in, because I think that it's as clear as can be that is the direction they want to go in. But I do feel like that backstage segment with Rhea Ripley was a bit of a security blanket segment, just in case the negotiations or something falls apart with AJ Lee coming back. So just to cover their own self. But either way, the Seth Rollins and CM Punk, according to CM Punk and according to those with eyes and ears and everybody that is paying attention to the WWE, this is not ending anytime soon. So can they drag it out and get a WrestleMania out of it? Time will tell. We'll see how that plays out. After this, we had our main event. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker versus Jey Uso and LA Knight. This is what we've pretty much expected from our main events on Monday Night Raw. It's going to be division. It's going to be one of two of those guys, three of those guys, something like that. And it's really just about star power. It's really about giving you something at the end of the night that's going to make you continue to want to watch and get to that point. So Braun Breaker has been stepping his game up. Bronson Reed has been stepping his game up. Main event Jey Uso has been a fan favorite for quite some time now, as has LA Knight been a fan favorite for quite some time now. So definitely have all the ingredients for star power for WWE Monday Night Raw main event, and that's what we got. This match ended with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed picking up the win for the division, and then proceeding to destroy Jey Uso, which led to Jimmy Uso coming out and teasing a possible reunion between the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. So I don't think the fans will be mad at that. It will interfere with Jimmy's aspirations, I believe. Maybe he doesn't have those aspirations to become singles champion, but I think a lot of people want to see it and see what that might look like. But at this point in time, I think his brother needs his help. His twin needs his help. So they're going to get to it. They're going to go at it against Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker at some point. I'm not sure when that may be because everything is moving so fast. So I don't think that's a WrestlePalooza match. It might just be a Monday Night Raw, something like that. But either way, I think it's going to be a good match, and it'd be good to see the Usos team up again, obviously, against a team that is not necessarily a tag team or came in as a tag team or traditional tag team. So, but we're going to definitely be on the lookout for the Usos reuniting, possibly AJ Lee coming back. So we got some interesting developments that may come in the way of outside people, superstars, to help out WWE's Monday Night Raw. But that was Monday Night Raw for tonight. Be looking forward to some more of the Clash of Paris fallout on this coming SmackDown. I appreciate everyone listening on and watching tonight. Like I said, we be have the band back together next week. Please do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Matter of fact, hit that button right now. Don't waste no more time. Hit that subscribe button right now. Why not? And don't forget to share. And you can always listen to the Wrestle for Real podcast with DJ Rav V, Spook Williams, and Stan wherever you get your podcast. So please look for us, tune in, continue to like. We definitely appreciate the support. We're constantly growing and seeing some consistent growth. So we definitely appreciate that. And we know it's you who tune in to hear what we got to say and hear our commentary on the product. And we definitely appreciate that. So continue showing us the love. We'll continue bringing the content. And until next week, I'm out of here.